Hi guys, I'm Grant, and tonight I'm going to tell you my coming out story. I remember back in elementary school, I would have guy crushes, just like a girl would have guy crushes too, and guys would have girl crushes. Like, in my mind, I never expressed them because I didn't want to look like the odd one out. I was super religious, I still am, but back then I adored God. I loved Him so much, and I still do. And I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, I would bring the Bible to school every day, and they would be like, the teachers would be like, okay, it's reading time, and everyone got out their, Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, and I was like, my Bible. Hell yeah. So I was very spiritual when I was little, too. I always thought about God. And remember, I had no idea what sex was. So I just thought you got in bed and you hugged each other and you kissed each other, you made out. So I didn't know what that really entailed until like 4th grade. So that proves that I didn't choose to be this way, nor think, how could it ever be wrong? So out of elementary school and into hell, middle school. It never really got picked on, really. I was really more like self-conscious about everything, like about my voice and stuff. Like, I had a really high voice, so in middle school I tried to lower my voice manually, and I would really try to talk like low, like this, So I tried to lower my voice, so hoping people wouldn't accuse me of being gay. On comes to high school. In high school, I was in the orchestra. I know. So that led me to believe that people would either think I'm gay or at least like suspect that I am. And I didn't want any of that, so I kind of closed myself off. I would used to cry in my bathroom. And I had a window in my bathroom, my shower, and I could see the moon every night and the stars, and I'd always cry because I thought I was going to go to hell. I was hellbound, and it was not good. It made me lose all my self-worth. Don't get me wrong, I had friends. I had plenty of like friends, like I hang out with at school, but I never had like someone that I could just, go over to their house anytime and hang out with them. I would get invited to like a lot of different, parties and stuff back in my sophomore years and junior. And I would always say no because, I was afraid that and the thing is, like, in my mind I was paranoid about, like, I thought everyone knew me, like, knew that I was gay. And that made me feel like, uncomfortable. That just made me not want to hang out with anyone. So that sucked. They stopped asking me. I understand why, because I was always like, no, I'm busy, sorry. Thanks for inviting me. So anyway, being paranoid didn't help at all. It just kind of ruined my high school years, and my high school experience. It was good, but it could have been so much better. That's all I'm gonna say. And then now to the point of coming out. Okay, we're gonna go back a year or two, and it was like February of 2012. I got confirmed by my church. So we went to this confirmation camp about 2 weeks before you're actually confirmed. And so part of the camp, we were split up in tables, and the head chick, she told us, like, if any of you have any questions, raise your hand and I'll come over and answer them. So me and my table were just talking, like me and my good friend Brent, we were just talking and stuff, and at the table over, there was this one girl. You can tell, like, the way she was dressed, she was more, liberal and everything. Liberal. So the head lady came over, and the girl was like, hey, I know, like, Catholics, like, don't really believe in gay marriage and stuff, and I have a ton of gay friends, and I was wondering, like, is it wrong? Like, how is it bad? And I remember her respond and with laughter, like, listening to this conversation. And in my mind, so weird. At that point in time, I kind of knew who I was. I knew I was attracted to men only, and I hated it. I believed it was wrong from the common belief. So in my mind, I basically was cheering the head lady on. I wasn't doing it physically, but in my mind, I was cheering the head lady on to say, yeah, like, tell her, like, gay marriage is, a sin, like, being gay is a sin, blah, blah, blah. And ironically, a month later, I would come out. After that confirmation camp, and I went home. For some reason, my heart would get heavier over the days, and I couldn't explain it. Because in my mind, I was so full of, like, hate towards myself. It was March 21st, and the night of, and me and my parents went on a walk with our dogs. My mom went ahead while she was in front. I told my dad, hey, can we talk after the walk and stuff, like meet me in my room and stuff? And he's like, yeah. Another irony is that I'm kind of closer to my mom than with my dad. They're both Catholic, but my mom, like, I knew she expressed her opinion. I don't know why they choose to live this way, like gays and stuff, and I was closer to her personally, but I couldn't tell her. So I had to go to my dad, who, we get along, but our relationship wasn't that great. And my dad, he always believed they were born that way. He came up to my room, and I was like, I have to tell you something. And it took me like 20 minutes to finally, I never said the word before. And I think you need to, if you are going to come out, like, to rehearse saying it, like saying I'm gay, because I never said that before, and I couldn't say it. He would say something like, did you get a girl pregnant? I was like, no. Did you kill anyone? No. Stuff like that. And I kept saying no, and I did date people, but I felt like he knew. So he, said, are you gay? And I cried. One of the few times I've seen him cry. And after that, we had a good chat. And he ended up telling me, like, I finally feel like I have a son. I felt like that was, like, my best decision that I ever made to come out. It's a good thing. Good thing to do. Because I felt like I had my dad to, talk to because I always talked to my mom. But I couldn't talk to my mom about that. I had to talk to my dad, and he accepted me and still loved me. I did not want him to tell my mom that night, but he did. He had to. So I remember being at school the next day, and I could not concentrate at all. Gosh. I think we had like a calculus test too, and I was like, F this. I don't know, I just kind of spaced out that entire day. My friends were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. So whenever we got home, we talked, me and my mom and my dad, and she was confused. Wasn't really expecting it. Usually moms know everything, but not every little detail. My mom did not. So it took her a while to understand, like, what I've been feeling and, like, who I am. But, she's come around because, like, being brought up, like, your whole life is, like, believing that it is a sin. I completely understand that. I think a month or two later, like, we still talked and everything. It was a little awkward, but, she came around. I was so relieved because if I had to lose her, my life would suck because she's amazing. So I came out to my parents, and the last person I cared about telling at the time was my sister. And I did not know how she would react either. She was really, through her experiences in her life, she has turned to God, and she's become much more spiritual than she used to be. And I just didn't know how she would react to me. We're very close. So I told her in person. I stayed the night with her, and she was confused too. In the Bible, showed her what I believed to be true, and if she did not like it, then she did not like it. It took her a while, like my mom, and now she supports me. She told me she's not as judgmental anymore towards like the gay people at her work. I don't know, that kind of made me feel good. That made me feel like I only told my family, but I made a small difference already. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching my story, and really my sexual orientation has no bearing on my life. It's just the people that love to hate other gay people for whatever reason, maybe being insecure about their own sexuality, and that's very unfortunate. I feel bad for them. So if you are gay, I highly suggest you should come out to your family, your friends, whoever you want, and yeah, have a good day.